All right. We'll just wait for a couple people to get in here. And my co-host.
Yes,
Mm,
sir.
yeah. Thanks again, man. I really, really appreciate this.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm down. I'm always down to do some talk some Eagles. You know what I'm saying? It's always a good time to talk some Eagles.
Yeah, my channel is mostly like the Sixers and stuff. I'm sure you saw, but it's just like I need to get back into Eagles stuff. I really do.
Yeah, well, with the draft coming up, so now you're gonna get more content. Once the draft happens, we'll have new players to talk about, new players to get excited about. Hopefully, so
Hmm.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We will definitely see. We'll see what the number 12 pick holds for us.
It's just like I don't know what to say. We had six. We freaking had six, man. And all my friends are like, who are Giants fans. They're like, look what happened now. I'm like, dude, I'm not surprised. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, we knew how we wasn't gonna just sit there and do nothing, right? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like we knew we knew it wasn't gonna be easy. I felt like everything felt a little bit too perfect. Everything was going too well, so something had to happen at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, all right, you know what? Let's just get started. I don't know. So, hey guys, welcome to Sports Chat. It's your boy MK. Tyler will be here momentarily. Sorry we weren't here last week. We were busy. Something came up. But we're here with my guy, Philly the podcast. Introduce yourself, dude.
Yeah, man, it's Joe Castro, Philly Fresco, Philly the podcast, man. Here to have a little fun, talk a little football, talk a little bit, whatever y'all want to talk about. You know, we gotta have some fun.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about basketball right now. I'm telling you. I just don't. Drummond's gonna go to the Lakers.
Yeah, I was, realistically, all right, full disclosure for those that might not know who I am. I'm obviously a Nets fan, so it is what it is. So I'm very excited about getting LaMarcus Aldridge. I wanted Drummond, if I'm being 100% honest. Like, not that I didn't want LaMarcus Aldridge, like I'm cool with that. Um, but I was cool with Drummond just because that's really all we needed was somebody that could just be a big man. We just need we don't necessarily need, and we weren't gonna get a top flight big man. We needed somebody that could just kind of fill that lane, and LaMarcus can do that and then some. So, hey, I'm excited. It's gonna be an interesting playoff. That's really all I care about, though. That's like the season is whatever. Like it's just, all this load management and stuff. It's kind of frustrating watching the Eagles play. I mean the Nets play, but it is what it is. I'm excited about the move.
Yeah. It's just like, dude, I made a video about the Sixers getting LaMarcus Aldridge, and I'm like, people keep on telling me, no, he's washed up, he doesn't fit, he's cost too much. But I'm like, dude, he can shoot the ball. That's all we need. We need shooters. So it's just like, okay, I'll take him for the buyout. You got him for the veteran minimum. So it's just like, dude, that's gold. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
it's big, man. It's big. Sean Mark's out here, making moves, man. I mean, who doesn't want? But somebody, who was it? I forget who actually. I want to say it was Ryan Clark that tweeted that he was like, I mean, what do you want the Nets to do? Like, say no, like say, tell these guys like, no, you can't come play here. Like, it is what it is. This is what the NBA is now. You go out and you get all your boys. But he sound cool. I'll take it. I'll take it. I will
hey,
take it.
hey, hey. So, yeah, dude, I just want to talk about the trade. Like, I just really want to start out with this. Like, yours, my co-host should be here any minute. I'm going to shoot him a freaking text. But it's just like, people in the chat, let me know, what do you guys think about the trade that happened yesterday? Because I'm still mixed. I'm still 50-50 on it. And I just want a good move by Howie, even though that's not going to happen at all. But
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It was when I first heard it. Obviously, you saw my reaction. I was upset. I was very upset. The
mhm,
shock factor of it really got to me. And even looking back on it, I'm not happy with the compensation. I don't think that we got enough. Like there was more to be had. I feel like if you waited till draft night, you probably would have got a bigger haul, or you would have got a player. Like, what's going on? What's going on?
John,
yo,
Chilling.
so Philly, this is my co-host and a very good friend of mine, Tyler. What up?
good nature.
What's good, man? Pleasure's mine, man.
So, Tyler, I gotta ask you. We talked last night on the phone. Give me your opinion. We're starting out with it, boy. We're starting out with it. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Okay. I'm gonna be more calm this time.
Dude, you were yelling.
Okay.
I've never heard you yell like that.
Get me all mad after work, man. You're mean.
Come on, let's hear it.
Went from getting a guaranteed generational talent to dropping out of the top 10 entirely. And in return, we get a first-round pick for next year. And people keep saying we have 3 first-rounders next year. That is wrong. We have 2 and a conditional first, which I'm sure the Indianapolis Colts have something set. So this way, even if Wentz turns into an all-star over there, he'll still be able to keep it a second.
Okay.
On top of that, we have Howie Roseman, who would be picking for those first-round picks, which, at best, are going to be very, very late first-round picks. And you're expecting me to believe someone who's had only one guy even make it to a Pro Bowl, and he wasn't even on the starting squad, to be able to find some great talent out of the very end of the first? Like, no. I would much rather have Kyle Pettis or Jamar Chase, because we were guaranteed one of them. There was no way they were both gone by 6. Right now, one of the only players that I'm actually interested. Whatever, Howie, you're gonna get fired. Hashtag fire.
I love you, bro. I freaking love you.
It's
go on, man. Go on, full George.
Gregory Rousseau, I think is how you say his name, is one of the prospects that I hope we get at 12. I think he's a great talent for the defense. We definitely need good linebackers. I think he could fit the bill for us for years to come. But that's just me.
Yeah. Like, I was talking to my dad about this. He's like, you got to build around Jalen Hurts. You do. And when you miss out on generational talent like this, it's just like, now what? We missed out on Jefferson last year. We missed out on so many people. It's just like, enough is enough, in my opinion. My dad...
Think about that. Jefferson was still there when we picked Ringo. So...
Yeah, I mean, to be optimistic, we only moved back. I don't like the trade. I'll say that, obviously. But we only moved back to 12. So, 12 isn't a death sentence when it comes to, the draft. You're still in the top 15. You can still grab somebody that's very good. And depending on how the draft falls, you might still end, it's a very small chance that you end up with somebody like it. There's 3 guys that I think we would be happy with offensively. And those 3 guys to me is Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, and Devontae Smith. I would be happy with those at 12. There's some wide receivers that you could kind of maybe reach on, like a Rashad Bateman. That wouldn't be terrible at number like 15 and beyond, but maybe you take him at 12 or something. Maybe that's what they do. But there's other guys there. So I won't say that 12 is a death sentence. I just, like I said before, I think we could have got more for it. And I think if you're patient,
I'm thinking about it this way, though. So you're going from getting a guaranteed generational talent on your offense to now potentially getting just maybe a good player, though, is what I'm trying to get, is what I'm really upset about. Because those 2 are going to succeed no matter where they go. They're insanely...
nothing is guaranteed, because we can look at number 12, right? And a lot of people are now, coming out on Twitter and everybody saying, yeah, what's good, Hunter? Number 12 was also Fletcher Cox. So we can get a Fletcher Cox. You never know. I mean, there are great players picked everywhere in the draft. And I don't trust our scouting department. I don't trust Howie. I don't necessarily know if I trust our scouting department, because I don't really know what they do yet.
So they wanted Jefferson.
Exactly. So I don't know how much they're actually involved in the drafting process. So I don't know. I more so don't trust Howie at this point. But my thing is, you can get talent anywhere. You can get, and you're gonna get talent everywhere throughout the draft. It's a lottery. It really is. But I don't like, if we look at the draft, I don't like it because of the compensation, not necessarily the pick. I'm cool with trading Pat. I really didn't mind trading back. It is fine. But if you're going to do that, especially to number 12, especially to drop behind somebody like the Cowboys and the Giants, if you're going to make that dramatic of a drop back, you've got to get some compensation, and it's got to be like realistic. Like, you know, even if, especially you got 1.5 picks. That's really how I look at it. You got 1.5 picks. You got next year's first, and then you gave up a 5th to go up higher to get a 4th round pick, basically. So I count that as a half, realistically. I count that as a half. That's a swap, right?
Yeah.
So that you have 1.5 picks for moving back 6 players. Now, depending on who he picks, we're going to look at this like Howie, you're a genius, or Howie, you're an idiot. He put himself under the biggest microscope of any other GM this season, and it's mainly because of his misses in the past. So, you know, to be optimistic, like I said, those are all good things. Realistically, those are all good things. The pressure is on Howie Roseman right now, because if he misses on this pick, I mean, all bets are off. All bets are off. If you traded back and got us and missed out on somebody like a Kyle Pitts, if he goes on to be as great as we all think, or Jamar Chase, or you name, you know, put XYZ player here. If somebody hits at 6 on somebody that is generational, and we get, you know, another fireman and Danny Watkins, or we get another J Jaw, or we get another Nelson Aguilar, it's going to be very hard for Jeffrey to ignore that. So, I mean, I'm trying to look at the good side of it at this point. You know, that's where I'm at.
See, I don't know. It's just, to me, it also comes down to, if this trade fails, which I think a lot of people in Philly are predicting and even hoping, I think, at this point, I see no reason why Jeffrey Lurie is to keep Howie Roseman around.
Yeah,
because I think at that point he has proven how incompetent he is. Because if you already look at our cap situation, we're already going to be screwed for the next couple of years at this point, without, especially with how many contracts we have to restructure and then turning to signing bonuses just to get ourselves out of it. And there's only going to be so many times you can get players to do that. And, you know, because they want to get paid, especially your older veteran players. They want their money because they know that their time is going to get very short. And all it takes is one injury, and then they're gone out of the league. True. So it's only so long you can try and put a Band-Aid over this situation. I mean, I honestly think that we might be on the verge of just going on to a full-on rebuild. Yeah. If we can't figure out something.
Now, here's a question I've been thinking about for a couple days. Well, first, Hunter, if you want to come on, we got an open spot. Shoot me a DM on Twitter. I'll invite you in. So, I've been thinking about this for a couple days. Do you trade some of the picks for Tyler? I think you and I talked about this. Do we trade and try to make a move for Watson? Like, take some of the picks and move it for Watson? Or Russell Wilson, in that matter? Would you do that, or just ignore it?
Are you asking me or him?
I'm just throwing out.
I need to stew on this some more.
No, that's a big fat no for me. I mean, maybe Russell Wilson is the. If you're going to do it, I would do it for Russell Wilson. I would definitely not do it for Deshaun Watson. I mean,
you give up for Russell though.
I mean, it's gonna realistically the asking price is gonna be 3 firsts. That's what it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be, and it would make sense because of how we have now 3 firsts, and we would technically not technically. So the way I looked at it, if I'm being, you know, the tinfoil hat guy real quick, the way I looked at it was that he now has his first he can give up these 2 firsts this year and give up his first next year, and that's 3 firsts, and he still technically might have a first next year. I mean, excuse me, he can give up 1 first this year, 2 next year, and still technically maybe have a first next year. So it doesn't really cost him much in his mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a quick fix. Because if you look at how we did it with Carson, even when we did it with Carson, we recouped a lot of those picks back. You know what I'm saying? We got those back pretty quickly. So it's like, if that's what he wants to do, then all this chain events make sense, and it makes sense that he did it so early. But if he does that, man, especially for Watson, yeah, I would have a problem with that. I would not be cool with that.
Well,
we're not a person away.
Yeah, my biggest concern with Russell Wilson, I just decided to look this up while you were talking here, is I wanted to look up what his cap hit would be if he's on a roster in 2021, and that's a $32 million hit. And with how bad our cap situation is now, I don't think we can afford to do that. And even then, like, I think I'm going to be the same answer as you. I'm also going to say I wouldn't trade for Watson. While I don't think there's enough information about if he's guilty or not, I still think we need to get more information on that, so I don't have an opinion on that quite yet. But I think he's too big a risk. I think Russell Wilson, as good as he is, even at his current age, I still wouldn't do it just for 3 firsts, just because of the cap hit, and because I don't know how many years he still has left of the tank. But I still don't think I would do any trade for a quarterback. I think I'm going all in on Hurts. While I may have some concerns about his throwing ability, I still think he's a great improviser. He's a great scrambler, and a lot of the guys in the locker room seem to try and surround him with all their best, and they try and go out there and put a great effort for him. I see no reason why we don't give Hurts his shot here.
I was agreeing with you guys. I should throw it out there, because knowing Howie, anything can happen. You can throw anything out, and Howie will be like, okay, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that. So anything's out there. He can sign anybody. So it's just like, with Howie, you got to think outside the box. That's what I'm saying.
With Howie, you have to first find the box, though.
Yeah, for real. I don't think he has a box. if we're talking about box mentality.
Twists and turns of, it's like watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie, except it's nothing but twist after twist after twist.
Okay. So let's go on with some free agencies here.
I actually do want to ask this question. So,
go for it.
Who do you guys think is the biggest free agent signing in your opinion? And so, player and team. Like, who do you feel was the biggest free agent signing?
The biggest free agency signing? Does that include trades or no?
No, like free agency only. Because trades is already its own thing at this point.
Yeah. All right. I think I got one, but I'll let you go first.
We're talking. If you got one, you go first, because I'm actually have to think. I gotta think.
Okay. I'm going. Kenny Galladay. I'll just go. Okay. I was gonna say Kenny Galladay's a good one, or Trent Williams. I was gonna say J.J. Watt, because to the Cardinals, adding to a good defense already, adding him out of the blue, it's just like, and knowing he's still got some room left in the tank, it's just like, it adds, like, it makes the Cardinals more of a contender. Just from that alone, I feel like, with that defense side of the ball. And this is signed Malcolm Butler. People are telling me, like, that's not a good signing, but it still adds to an impactful defense, in my opinion. So, I'm going with J.J. Watt.
For me personally, I gotta give it to Kenny Galladay. Although I won't say behind this, I think this is a little bit of a not as big. People aren't giving this the attention that it should be getting. I also think right behind that is Sammy Watkins to Baltimore.
Right.
So I'll explain the Galladay part first. So Galladay, he's a great wide receiver. He was wasting away with Detroit. And honestly, even though the Giants haven't been that great for the past couple seasons, if Daniel Jones can pull off what he did the halfway mark and then forward, and they get him like another decent weapon in the draft or even some better O-linemen, I think the Giants could actually be playoff contenders again with the right couple of pieces. And as for Sammy Watkins to Baltimore, I think that's a great signing for Lamar Jackson. He has a absolute stud at wide receiver now, and it hurts the Chiefs a lot as well because Sammy Watkins is I think borderline number one for me. I know he's not as great as he was when he was younger and with the Bills, but he's still an absolute threat and has some great hands. I think he helped Tyreek Hill get as much space as he was in coverage because of how big of a threat Sammy Watkins is still. And with Lamar Jackson, I think Baltimore Ravens are definitely going to be even more of a Super Bowl contender now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with one that I was so excited to see, and it wasn't for the Eagles, and it's going to hurt us a little bit. Hurts me seeing it a little bit, just a little bit. But I'm going to go with Nate Gary to the San Francisco 49ers. Look, it's going to be rough not seeing the snake slither. It's going to be hard to not see that in a linebacking core. But that helped two teams. For some reason, the San Francisco 49ers think it might help them. It helps us because we know now Howie cannot re-sign him.
Mm-hmm.
I was elated when that happened. I was elated. Other than him, honestly, I'm gonna go with Juju. I think them getting him back so cheap, it extends Ben that 1 year. If he's, I don't know what the situation. I think he's coming back. Extends Ben that 1 year. If you do go and get a rookie quarterback, you still have Juju. And for Juju, if you're gonna get a 1 year deal anywhere, you might as well stay home because you at least know the system. You know what you can do in it. You might as well stay home. So I think it works best for both sides. So I think that was a sneaky good one. But I think Nate Gary was the
absolute star of the free agency.
Yeah, that one made me tear up a little bit.
Yo, shut up.
Let's go, Philly 52.
Yeah, I actually when I was about to hop in the shower, I saw there was this tribute video to Nathan Gary on Twitter.
You gotta send me that.
Play, missed tackle. Every time he fell over his own foot, it's incredible. I love it.
Yeah, don't send me that. I don't want to see that.
Just send me that. I want to see it because I might make a video on that tomorrow along with the Sixers post-game.
Yeah, as soon as we're done, I'll send that to you then.
Yeah, please do. And I'm encouraged to see what the chat has to say about their free agent signing. We got Hunters, which is like Nate Gary, I think, also. But I'm going to go back on the Juju thing real quick. I'm just wondering why he signed for 1 year, $8 million instead of going to like the Ravens or us. Like we offered him something. So it's the Ravens, us, and the Chiefs.
Like, how much do you know about Nathan Gary? Is the real question. Because for all we know, that could have been his like childhood team, and that he's always had a dream of being a Niner. My real question is
talking about Juju.
I said Juju, dude.
Oh, Juju.
I said Juju, not Gary.
But yeah, I think it has a little bit to do with what running back Philly said, where he's going to be more familiar with the system. He doesn't have to move anywhere. And I think it's also because he thinks he can still bring a championship to Pittsburgh. I think Ben Roethlisberger had a lot in bringing him back, because I know he said after the season was over that he hopes Juju stays. So I think that Ben Roethlisberger had a hand in that. But my real question is, are they going to be able to do what they did last year, but actually go all the way, though? Because I'm not so sure. I don't know how well Ben's arms, because Ben was looking great at the start of the season, and then his arms started to just go off the freaking charts so badly that he threw, it was 3 picks in the first quarter alone?
Yeah.
The Browns?
Yeah.
I mean, he got bad quick.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter how good you were at the start, it's how you finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is one of those things where it's like Ben Roethlisberger can do well at the start, but can he actually go all the way towards the end, and I'm not so sure he can anymore.
I don't think so either. And I just want to say this right here. If Juju does not, I mean, if they don't win a ring, right? Pittsburgh does not win a ring. Juju, 1 year, $8 million. Is he done after that? You think he'll leave?
I think that all comes down to if Ben leaves. I honestly think Ben and Juju have a really good connection, and I think if Ben leaves, I don't think Juju comes back. I think Juju goes off to another team to contend for a ring.
That's exactly what I said earlier. I was talking to a friend about it.
See, I don't think Juju's all that good. So I mean, we'll
He's
see.
not.
I mean, if he has a decent year, maybe
Yeah.
somebody will want him next year. I think that he'll probably just stay with the Steelers. To be honest, like he might be best off just being their guy with a new quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That might be his best option at getting a big, getting that bag, so to speak. So
I'm a little more curious as to the money he was being offered by these teams like Baltimore and Kansas City, because you would think that they'd be making some pretty substantial offers, especially for longer than 1 year for his
Well,
services.
a lot of people are turning down Baltimore. I think you got to look at the system. You got to look at Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins did his thing, but he's not really valued as he maybe should be because of that offense. They have 5 different weapons. You know what I'm saying? So do you really just want to go there and be and especially somebody like Juju, where they're already saying you're a number 2, you know what I'm saying, where you're a number 1, where your actual home is, they're saying you're not the number 1 option. So do you want to go somewhere where you're definitely not going to be a number 1 option? And then you look at Baltimore, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk junk about I think that Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback. Love the guy, love the kid. I used to watch him in Louisville. I loved Lamar Jackson. But he's not going to sit here and throw 5,000 yards. I mean, maybe one day he will, but he's not Drew Brees, right? He's not Tom Brady, right? He's not Patrick. He is who he is. And wide receivers see that. How realistic is it to put up a 1,200-yard, 15 touchdown season as a wide receiver with Lamar Jackson or as number 3 in Kansas City? You know what I'm saying? So it's I think stuff like that you got to take into account when you're really in a weird situation, because he's not 24. How old is he? He's 28, right?
I think so. I'll look it up.
I'm pretty sure he's 28.
Yep, might be in his mid-20s.
Yeah, so you're at that point where you're looking for your last check, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So he has to put himself in the 24.
24, yeah. Okay.
Oh, so I said he's not 24. I don't know why 24 was in my head. I was like, he's not 24, is he? I mean, yeah. So he's got to set himself up for the future.
Year, I believe.
It's like
But,
you're technically right. He's not going to be 24 by the time of next season.
Yeah, so technically, yeah. But yeah, you got to set yourself up for the future.
And I just saw this on Twitter the other day. He does not want to go to a team that he's not the best TikToker. He's a...
If I did watch TikTok, I would rather watch Chase than Juju.
Chase got a TikTok, Jamar Chase?
No, Chase Claypool.
Oh, for real? These boys with this TikTok.
So did
I don't even want to get into it because that I'm just
I have no idea how TikTok goes.
So does Mahomes' brother.
For real? Everybody got a TikTok. I got a TikTok. I don't ever be on it though.
I do. I just scroll.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
I'm proud of it.
Whenever I send you something, you just ignore it.
I put up $5 domino coupon. That's the only reason I installed it.
Oh, right. Yep. All right. Let's go over free agencies now. So, Tyler, I'll let you take over. Do you want to start with last week, this week, what?
I don't even know where to begin, man. I know. Here's where I'll begin. Let's talk about the Patriots real quick.
Go for it.
So they go from having their first losing season in I don't even know how long to spending over $50 million within the first week. And they got the top 2 tight end free agents.
Oh yeah, and they gave Newton a bigger contract.
They gave
That
Newton
didn't really make much sense.
contract. They
I was
gave
laughing. I'm like,
Mills is now a Patriot. They got Aguilar, which I'm a little surprised Belichick wanted Aguilar, but I guess he sees a little bit more upside in him than some other teams around the league. So let's see what he can do with them. But
he
Got
had
Mills too.
yeah.
and also another thing we have to keep in mind is how many players, especially on defense, they lost to COVID opt-outs. Like they lost, like their biggest one was Stephon Gilmore when he opted out. And that defense, they didn't play anywhere near as well with how many people decided to opt out for that season, especially when you lose your veteran leadership in the locker room. So not only are these some decent signings, some of them might be a little overpriced, but they're still pretty decent signings. But you're also getting your opt-out guys back as well. Like, I honestly think Patriots, I don't think they'll make a Super Bowl run, but I think they can potentially be playoff contenders again, depending how well Cam Newton does. And hopefully he doesn't throw more interceptions than touchdowns.
Did they sign like a running back or no?
No, they do
don't
not
believe so.
believe that they did.
I don't think so. Not that I remember, at least.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I mean, the Patriots did their thing. I mean, you could tell Bill Belichick. I think he's on his last leg. I think he's just like, listen, I'm gonna try and go out,
And
do something, and this is it. Because I mean, it sucks. He had to go watch Tom Brady go win a Super Bowl, so that has to suck a little bit as a man. But yeah, I think this is him just being like, F it, let's go out, spend this money. I mean, we got rid of their quarterbacks. I mean, maybe Belichick really just doesn't like New England. Maybe that's just really what it is. Because realistically, like, even when Tom Brady was there, he was like slowly decimating that team. And that's why Tom Brady didn't want to stay there. He was just slowly pulling that team apart. So now he's just like, all right, we got rid of all their quarterbacks. I haven't spent all their money yet. Let me just go ahead and spend all their money on a couple tight ends. Let's go get 2 blocking tight ends real quick. I mean, I like Jonnu Smith. I can't hate on him. But, let's go get some random tight ends that we probably could have got in the draft. Realistically, you probably could have got just as good, if not better, in the draft. And we're going to overpay them. We're going to pay the hell out of them. Let's go get Jalen Mills because that didn't work in Philly. So let's overpay him. Let's go get Nelson Aguilar. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. But, hey.
He's in panic mode. They're in panic mode.
I'll say this, I'm a little confused why they decided to get the 2 tight ends. Are they going to run a 2 tight end system, kind of similar when they had Hernandez and Gronk? Or are they going to do what we kind of did in 2018 when we had with Goddard and Ertz? Like, I'm curious to see why they decided to get both of them.
That's probably what they're going to do.
That's
I know
like the most.
now they run a lot of 2 tight end sets. They run the ball a lot too. So, I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but they just paid a lot. For that, go get some offensive linemen. I don't know. Like, I just feel like they overpaid. But Bill Belichick, I'll always say, is a great great head coach. And a great GM. I can't really hate him. Maybe not a great GM. Maybe I'm stretching it there, but he's a great head coach. And some of the moves he's made has been very questionable. But when you have, Tom Brady as your quarterback, it's kind of hard. I don't want to say it's kind of hard to mess it up, but some of your mistakes get, covered up, right? Even if he's at his older age. I mean, so it is what it is. I like Bill Belichick. I like Tom Brady. I just don't like them together. I don't like Tom Brady, but I dislike him less now that he's not a Patriot, so I don't know. It's a weird thing.
I mean, it could be worse. The Patriots could have to deal with John Gruden.
Yeah, or we could be dealing with John Gruden. I remember a couple of years ago we were talking about.
On me. Don't you dare put that evil on me.
I remember before we got Chip Kelly. I remember talking to a couple of my Eagle friends or whatever and everything. It was before we ever thought about having a podcast, and we were all just sitting there looking at rumors and stuff. And what's it called? We were talking about Gruden a lot. Gruden was a guy, and I never realistically thought that he would ever come back to the NFL. Obviously he did, but it was a name, before we got Chip Kelly that I thought was possible in Philadelphia. But yeah, we didn't. It is. He's doing well though. I mean, and then you got Mike Mayock over there making draft picks. He's kind of turning the team around. They haven't done terrible, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they have. I mean, from what I understand, David Carr. I don't know if this is true or not. Thought I saw some reports about him and David Carr going at it, and I know there's just other people in the locker room who aren't exactly happy with them. And his cap management has not been it's been very Howie-like. So,
hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. They winning some games. They got a better pick than us. You know what I'm saying? They behind us in the draft, so shit. They doing something. Yeah, we'll see though.
Yeah. This reminds me of when we played Tampa Bay Buccaneers years ago. You know, that Rondé Barber pick 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandfather at the time, I still have it. I got the glass football of the Buccaneers Eagles, that championship game. So whenever I look at it, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Or what? No, it was the opener. Yeah, it was the opener. Season opener. So that still haunts me. I don't like Rondé Barber or Tiki Barber. I don't like either of them. So
I don't even go to my barber.
Tyler, you're the one, dog.
hey, leave the alone.
That's messed up.
Yo, he's my brother. He disses me more than I diss him.
We're allowed to see my hairline no more.
Okay, anyways. All right, let's go to is there any other notable free agents that you guys saw that were like, I'm actually going to pull up?
Yes.
That got signed or that?
No, anything traded, anything. I'm looking on NFL trades this offseason and.
Well, you want like free agents that are still free agents or one that have already been signed?
Already been signed. Let's just talk more about that because I feel like we're missing something. We're missing.
I think it's Harrison Smith, right? The safety the Eagles got.
Yeah,
Anthony Harris.
Anthony Harris. Yeah,
Anthony Harris. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was a good one for us. That was very good.
Yeah, especially cheap, as cheap as we got 1 year, 5. The one thing that I didn't like about that is I was looking more into the contract of it, and we're gonna be paying him next year. After this year, after 2021, he's not going to be part of the team, but we're still going to be paying him $3.01 million. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool thing about that. I mean, I guess that's how you have to. That's how he had to, weigh out the contract. But yeah, that was the one thing that I really hated about that.
I didn't even know that about the contract. I mean, I guess they had to do something, or else he probably would have signed somewhere else. But I mean, I'm glad we got
with Flacco too. They did that with Flacco too. Flacco's contract is, technically a 1 year deal, but he's got both of them have 4 years that are voidable on the contract at the end of the contract. And Joe Flacco has a $2 million, like just under $2 million. I think it's like 1.94 or something like that. $1 million dead cap hit after this season. So we're like $5 million in dead cap for 2022 already. So that's we're starting it off right.
Yeah.
I remember. Well, this is more of a re-signing than a free agent, but talk about Taysom Hill.
Who? I'm sorry,
Taysom Hill, the guy who got an over. I think it was like $120 million quarterback to now be the backup to Jameis Winston or something like that.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it was 140. I think they have an opt out like every year though. Like the way they structured that was crazy.
Well, so I remember I was going on Twitter one day, I'm just going through to see what free agent moves were being made.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I see the headline: Taysom Hill gets $200 million contract. I go.
Yeah, I wish I would take that right now. But yeah, I think they have an opt out in that the way that they structured it was insane. Like I don't think he has much cap hit. I think it's all guaranteed basically.
Every single year it's avoidable after the first one.
So
I think that was the first voidable contract that had voidable years, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't even know that was a contract.
Howie does that all the time. That's Howie's forte. That's it. That's why we're in this situation. Because that's what he does. He just pushes everything back. I mean, it works when you gotta do it. That's what a restructure basically is. You just push your money back. But I mean, he does it with contracts too, because we did that with Brandon Graham when we first re-signed him. I think that's when he really fell in love with it. He just found out, so I can add like 3 fake years, and because he did it with Carson Wentz's contract too. Like, his was technically a 4-year extension, but there was like 2 or 3 extra years that were just dummy years. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's weird. Howie Roseman is a weird dude.
This is the first time I've actually ever tried to look into contracts and start paying attention to them. I've been
I'd be looking on Sport Track. I go on weird little rabbit holes on sporttrack.com and just be seeing that. Because I was even looking into because everybody after the draft pick, everybody was or after the draft trade that we did to move back, everybody was like, oh, we did it because of the money. We did it because the salary and everything. Like the 6th pick makes $6 million, I think, is their cap hit for the first year. And the difference between that and the 12th pick was $3 million. So everybody kept saying it. I'm just like, if it was really, he did that for $3 million, I don't really think so. You know what I'm saying?
Nickel and diamond right now.
If he did that, and we don't even have enough money to sign all of our free agents. We have all these draft picks and no money. We got $4 million in cap. And it's gonna take us 12 to sign all of our draft picks. So we're gonna be either trading or somebody's getting cut or somebody's got to get restructured again.
If they cut some out, I think I might actually stop being an Eagles fan if they ever cut Fletcher Cox.
I don't think they're gonna do that, but I mean they might.
There's no way
they would trade him.
I think they would put that in the universe, but if they do it, I will legitimately stop being an Eagles fan. That is really my favorite Eagle. That is left on this.
Hey, I've seen some of my favorite Eagles definitely go. Definitely sucks.
Yeah.
Listen,
speaking of
Wentz leaving, I can't deal with Fletcher leaving now. I can't do it. It's too much.
Well, speaking of favorite Eagles players, Desean Jackson. He went to the Rams on a 3-year deal.
He's not going to do anything. In fact, if anything, he's going to be a kick returner. His days of being an actual wide receiver, I think, are done.
I think he'll have one good. This is it for him. This is his last year. So, he already said this is his last ride. Shout out to him because he shared one of my Instagram posts. So, I got nothing but love for you, T. Jackson. Now, that was my guy, bro. I mean, he came on when I was young, when I was not real young, but I was pretty young, And he was after I became an Eagles fan, I became an Eagles fan more so. I'm trying to think with Freddie Mitchell and Jason Avant and Todd Pinkston and all these random wide receivers that we had back then. And it's then when we got Jeremy Maclin.
To be fair, Jason Avant was decent.
No, Jason Avant was good. That was my guy.
I liked him.
Yeah, Jason Avant was my guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he what's it called? Yeah, we got Desean Jackson and Jeremy Maclin, and it was oh my God, we got wide receivers. Oh my God. This is what it is. This is what it looks like.
And Shady.
Yeah, then we got Shady. Then you had Mike Vick. And it was bro, we aren't winning many games. We aren't the greatest team, but this is freaking fun to watch.
We have the best secondary
against Washington. And the first play.
The one where we blew him out by
bomb. Yeah, just the bomb to DJ. I'll never forget him just with the fake, a fake handoff, the rollout, then the it was just so beautiful, so beautiful.
Shout out to Albert Haynesworth for his great effort in that game.
Who?
Albert Haynesworth. The guy who fell on the ground and never got back up.
Shout out to him. $100 million just stealing. And Jason Avant back in the day shared one of my videos too. These people need to come on my podcast because they be hoeing me out on Instagram, man.
You have no idea. Daryl Morey liked my comment when I said come on my podcast. He liked it. I messaged him, got nothing.
That's not right.
You like that?
Oh, will you stop?
I should at him and just be like, "Hey, I'm a Nets fan, but I do Eagles."
Yeah,
How would you feel about coming on talking about me?
yeah.
Talking about Nets stuff. He said that we were the best in the conference. I just want to throw that out there. He did say that we were the favorites. Your own GM. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, I heard that. But my favorite Eagles moment, I just gotta throw this out there. It was 4th and 26. Freddie Mitchell.
Yeah.
I was there.
People's champ. He was there. That was a crazy moment.
I was in the box seats. My dad had box seats at the time. And once that happened, the whole stadium erupted. And there was like these Packers fans down below us throwing beer bottles at them. Like we weren't hitting them, but it was just like I threw one I missed. But
we threw snowballs at Santa. What?
Hey, Santa shouldn't have been there. Santa was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't care. People always tell me about that. I have a lot of friends that are, whether they're Cowboys fans or Giants fans, like so many of my friends aren't Eagles fans. It is what it is. But every time they talk about Eagles fans, it's like, oh, you guys threw snowballs at Santa. Like, I've never really liked Santa like that. Like, think about this. There's a big fat dude in a, you know what I'm saying, in a big like weird costume. You know what I'm saying, with like fake antlers on these little deers that pretends to fly and sneaks in people's houses, but I'm supposed to like him.
If you see Santa sneaking in through your chimney, you're telling me you're running outside, grabbing snowballs, and saying you came to the wrong house.
Yeah. I live.
Thank God I'm Jewish. Thank God I'm Jewish.
I live in Florida, but I have ice, and I will crush up some ice, make a snowball, and he will get that treatment. Yes.
Or don't go to running back Philly's house.
Philly, the podcast. Do not come to my house. Do not come to my house. Jason Avant was like a special role. Jason Avant was the man. Avant was the man.
Yeah. You said you lived in Florida?
Yeah, I live in St. Pete now.
Oh, how's the atmosphere? Is there a lot of Eagles fans there and stuff? Or?
Yeah, there is. And there's a couple Eagles bars. There's a bar in Tampa, which isn't too far from me. Philly Joe's, I think it's called. Tampa Joe's is what it's called.
Okay.
And next season, I'm gonna do a couple shows from there, like because it's a big Eagles. It's just like an Eagles bar, so it's like it's really cool though. It's really cool. So I'm definitely gonna go over there. It's a cool spot. It's nice. And in Jacksonville, there's a really I don't know if people like ever go to Florida, but if you go to Jacksonville, there is probably the coolest like Philly bar, and I can't remember the exact name of it, but it is like the only place with an ice bar. So like the bar is all ice, like legitimately. So you put your cup on it and it just keeps it cold because it's ice. You feel me?
That's
and it's awesome. A Philly bar. Yeah, it's a Philly bar. They get their bread from Philadelphia. Like that. It's really good. Like their cheesesteaks are decent, but it's a dope spot. So just like search ice bar.
That actually can make the cheesesteak and make it
exactly. Yeah, it's cute. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that it's like, you tried and I respect that. Like I've even seen like Philly egg rolls, and it's like just why you got to do that. Just don't. You don't necessarily have to disrespect people. Just call it like cheesesteak egg rolls or something like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask Philly Foothills. He's actually in California, so I wanted to ask him what the Eagles life is out there, but he had to cancel last minute. So I'm gonna be on his show. I assume.
Down here, what it's like, it's almost non-existent.
Oh yeah, you're in South Carolina.
It's like obviously you're gonna have a bunch of Panther fans because it's Carolina, but there are so many Cowboy fans. They're like everywhere.
What?
Cowboy fans are everywhere. It's just easier to be a Cowboys fan
here. Like what I swear, it's one out of every 4 people I've met so far have been Cowboy fans. I've met more Cowboy fans here than Panthers fans.
That kills me. Oh my God.
I hate it.
Well, it's a touristy spot too. I mean, like I know like in Cali and Florida, like stuff like that, you get a lot of touristy. So I know there's a lot of random teams out here because there's a lot of Yankee fans out here, a lot of Red Sox and Cowboys, Giants fans. But everywhere you go, I feel like you can find a Philly bar. Like I've moved around a lot in my life, and like almost every place I've been in the world, there's been like a Philly bar. Like everywhere you go, I promise. You just got to really try and look sometimes.
Yeah. I just got to throw this out there. I was in New York City one time for a family vacation. So I was like, Dad, we were about to go out to go breakfast. And I was like, Dad, should I wear my Eagles hat? He's like, yeah, why not? So I put on the Eagles hat. We go walking. I feel like a splat, right? I feel a splat. And I'm like, Dad, is it raining? He goes, no. I take off my hat. A bird pooped right in the middle of it in New York City. I'm like, oh my, what? The birds hate me in New York City.
The birds hate me. New York is. I don't really like New York. New York is too much. My whole family's from New York. But
I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, I mean Philly's a little bit too. I mean New York's a little bit too much for me.
Yeah,
I mean Philly be too much too, but
it's not as like congested though.
Depends where you go. Some places are pretty congested, but there's other parts that are pretty like open wide. Especially in downtown area, like that's not that bad.
Yeah. Could you imagine being an Eagles fan where Dallas is? Can you imagine that in Texas?
Oh my God. So my little brother, he wants to move to Texas so bad.
Why?
And I swear, I don't know why. I really don't. But he wants to. He has his mindset that he wants to move to Texas. He wants us to all go with him.
And that sounds culty.
Like Cowboys wearing a Eagles jersey, hat and everything. As I walk to the stadium, it's like,
like,
yeah, I would have moved to Texas. Texas is cheap though,
but it'd be worth it.
You know what they say? Everything's bigger in Texas. Tyler, come on.
I'm not doing it.
So, Dak Prescott's contract.
Yes.
Dude, like, it's about time that he did not get franchise tagged, but Cowboy fans keep on saying, like, oh, we're still in the Super Bowl race. We're still in the Super Bowl race after this. No, they're not.
So, here's the thing. If they had a competent coach, I wouldn't disagree with them. But when you go from one bad coach to another bad coach, you're not going to go that far.
Yeah. Prescott got a 4-year, $160 million with the which includes $126 million guaranteed.
I think Dak Prescott's contract. I just hope it doesn't pull a Zeke where he finally gets paid, and then he disappears.
I hope he does pull a Zeke.
Be a Cowboys fan if that happens.
Dude, we want that to happen. Like,
that's exactly what I want to happen.
Well, I'm saying from a Cowboys fan's perspective, not from my perspective.
I definitely want that.
Tyler, I'm kicking you off this podcast if you meant that.
I'm changing sides. This S is actually a C.
But dude, since Prescott's injury, and then he gets that contract, just like, oh.
That's the biggest question mark I feel for me is that injury and possibilities of it either hurting his game in the future or even being a nagging thing that's going to go on for years to come. That's the biggest question mark I feel right now. But we won't really be able to answer that till next season comes around.
Yeah, obviously. But it's just like, does this make them win the East?
Nah. They're gonna. This is Cowboys we're talking about. The Cowboys are just saying what they say every single year.
Yeah.
If they didn't say this every year, maybe one time I would like.
If Dak can stay healthy, they can at least win the East.
Which is not going to happen. And I think you're breaking out there. You're breaking out.
Hello?
Wait. No.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah. I think if Dak stays healthy, they can win the East, but I don't think they're going to make a Super Bowl run now. Not with how injury prone their entire roster is and with how mediocre of a head coach they have.
Yo, what up, Philly fan all day? Thank you for being here, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well.
Yeah,
So-
they not gonna do nothing, man. They always talking that talk.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny. It's just funny to tease Cowboys fans and Knicks fans. So, like, for me, it's just like that's like the best thing in my life. Cowboys and Knicks fans, like,
I want to play a
Yeah.
game with you guys.
oh no,
Yeah.
where do they come from?
It has to do with free agency.
Okay,
It has to do with free agency.
I
But I'm
think
going
so.
to throw Jigsaw in here, and if you lose, you die.
What the fuck? I don't want to die. I just bought my iPhone 12. I don't want to die.
Oh, you're definitely dying now, Mitchell.
All right, what?
All right, so I'm going to name a still available free agent, and I want you guys to say where you think he will go.
First, let me answer this. How long have we been doing our show? This is the 5th episode. 5th episode. We're going in strong. And I actually have a big announcement. Tyler, I'm going to announce it now. Just putting it out there, if that's okay with you.
That's perfectly fine with me.
All right. Tyler and I are going to be interviewing a Bleacher Report writer by the name of Jake Fisher. That's going to be huge. So we still got to work on a day. Tyler, you got to let me know which weekday. So yeah, I can't wait for that. And here, Tyler, I was thinking about this. So I was thinking about having a couple Philly content creators like RB or my friend Greg Melly.
Or
Philly,
maybe this way.
Yeah,
maybe-
yeah, I just said that.
There it is.
Yeah. And I was thinking towards the end of our interview, we'll bring a couple of them on and just like have them ask a couple questions. Have
Sure.
them ask- Yeah, so Philly, if you're down for that.
Of course, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, man. I've actually been in YouTube for like 6 years. So it's just like I'm making a full comeback. I came back. Tyler, when did I come back? It was like over
Couple months ago, I believe.
it was like over the month. I mean over the summer.
Think
I
so.
think- Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Philly 52. Much appreciated. So yeah, we're gonna set that up and I'm gonna tweet about it. So can't wait for that. All right, let's go on with your game.
The true
Good.
question. Do you
What?
want to play a game?
No, I don't want to die.
Too bad.
Well, I'm going on my iPhone. Shit.
Start off with the number one still available free agent,
Mhm.
Mr. Jadeveon. I hate Carson Wentz and Eagles. People everywhere. Clowney.
I thought he was already said. I thought it said that he was going to Cleveland.
I did not see that.
I don't think he's signed yet. I think he went to go visit them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So where do we think he's gonna go,
Now,
or
where do
how?
you think he will go?
Like, okay, so how do you die then? That's just like wasn't like.
It was a joke. I was making a Jigsaw reference, you nerd.
I never seen that. I'm sorry.
What do you?
But-
You've never heard of?
Hey, you never heard of draft day? Shut up.
Would you like to start, Billy, or would you like to start? me?
Philly,
Yeah, I'll start. I'll say with him. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think the
Ooh.
Chiefs make a play for him.
he's gonna go
Especially if
back
he's cheap
with
enough.
what? Oh, never mind. That was completely different.
Especially if he's cheap enough, I could see them being like, let's add another piece. You know what I'm saying to that defensive line. I could see them doing that, and they just cleared up some money, so that would be interesting. That would be fun to watch. I think.
All
Okay.
right.
So you say Tyler, you go, or do you want me?
Up to you.
I'm still thinking. So you go.
All right. Eagles. No.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, man.
You want everyone to go to the Eagles.
Tyler.
You're not allowed to dream. Stop dreaming. You're an Eagles. Eagles fans are not allowed to dream. The dream was in 2017. You don't get any more.
Okay, what was that? My internet just like froze. What was that?
I said you were an Eagles fan. You will not get to dream. You dreamt in 2017, and that's it. You get no more.
You suck. You know that?
I know I do.
Okay.
The Cowboys fan. He.
Tyler, where is he going?
So for me, I think he's going to go to one of two places. I know I'm cheating. So I will say the Browns, or I'm going to say the Cardinals. Cardinals have to bolster that defense. They've shown that with acquiring J.J. Watt and Malcolm Butler. And I think if they could get Jadeveon as well, I think that honestly is a really scary defense and possibly could take them up. Like, they're not only going to be like playoff bound, I think, at that point, but I think they could potentially make a deep run into playoffs. Whether they actually get them a ring or not, that's going to be up to the offense and if Cliff Kingsbury's offense can actually do anything. But with those pieces on defense, that could make them real scary. As for the Browns looked fantastic last year. Like they lost the majority of their good players and their head coach, and still walloped the juggernaut that was the Steelers, although on their downtrend. And I think that with a couple of pieces on defense, they could be Super Bowl contenders.
Okay. For me, I don't know if this is going to hurt me, but I say the Bills.
Ooh.
I say the Bills because knowing where they won their division and they made a deep run in the playoffs. They were a game away from the Super Bowl, and I think Clowney will go there and put them over that hump. I really think that despite if he gets injured, knock on wood, but I'm going to Bills.
You can say about anyone though.
But Clowney's more injury prone than track record say.
That is fair.
All right. Next.
All right, next. Where did he go? There he is. James Conner, the running back from the Steelers.
I've heard people linking us to him, or him to us, I guess I should say. I've heard people saying that he could be an Eagle. I wouldn't be terribly upset about that if, depending on his price. If he's waiting this long, I assume he's probably not going to be that much money. Other than us, though, I hate to say this, but maybe the Giants. Him and Saquon would be scary as heck. And, I love Saquon Barkley. I'm a Penn State fan.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we see he's not, immortal when it comes to injuries or, he's not bulletproof. Yeah. But, I think he might come to the NFC East. I could see him being a weapon for either us or for because we need a big guy. We need a big back like that, a bruiser. And that's exactly what he is. And then again, he would be married perfect to what the Giants are good at doing. And that's having that, downhill run game, smack you in the mouth with 3 or 4 running backs. So, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Okay. Before I go in, there was a question here. Who do you think will get at 12? So, Tyler, you want to start with that?
I already said I hope and I think we should get Gregory Rousseau if he's there.
I agree.
I want Micah Parsons. And if we're going to go defensive line, I would go Kwity Paye before Gregory. Are you saying Gregory Roche? Because there's two. There's Roche. I can't even say it. I don't know how to say his last name. I don't want to really go defensive. We probably will go defensive line. I think Kwity Paye is probably the guy that I would go if we're going defensive line. He said Horn. I know a lot of. I just did like a live where I was doing just random mock drafts.
I would say I saw that.
It's going to be interesting. A lot of times it was Horn that was probably the best player that you would get. Best player available. But there are those options. There are those defensive line options. One name that I feel is if it falls to us, it would be kind of hard for us to not take him is a Rashawn Slater. He can play every single position on the offensive line. and he should probably be a top 7, top 8 pick. So if he does somehow drop to the Eagles, I get ready because Howie is going to go crazy, and he's going to definitely run up to him. That's the thing too. If you're going to get defensive line, it's hard to really justify it that high when you have somebody like Derek Barnett.
I've seen some highlight clips of Gregory. I'm just gonna call him Gregory because I don't want to.
Yeah, I forget how to say his last name because there's another one that's like Roche, and then there's like Rocio or something like that.
So Gregory it is.
Yes, but I've seen some like highlight clips of Gregory, and I just love how the kid plays. And while yes, I would be a little redundant when we just get Barnett. Barnett's getting into the ladder. Isn't the greatest option, I feel, when you compare him to Gregory. I think Gregory has a little bit more upside to him at this point. And I think we might even find a way to either move one of them back to the outside linebacker position while having the other one stay on the edge. So that's why I kind of want him. I feel like he would be a great piece for our defense to try and help build that back up since we were one of the biggest defensive powerhouses a couple years ago. And I think that will help us get back into playoffs.
Okay. So back to the original point, James Conner, right? James Conner. Who did the Bills got?
They have a decent running back from what I remember. I just forget his name.
Let me look it up. I'm actually
I
curious.
think they got Devin Singletary. No, isn't that the Bears? Who is that? Who's Devin Singletary?
Because if they don't have a running back, I would say Bills again.
All right.
Who's Devin Singletary?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So I'm not going to say Bills.
So we'll look that up. I guess I'll do mine.
Yeah, I thought you did yours, but okay.
No. So for me, we brought this up earlier in the show about a team that needed a running back. I'm going to go with the Patriots.
I know that was my next choice.
But with him being this cheap already, like with how far into free agency we are, his contract's not going to be that much since he doesn't have a lot of negotiating anymore or power anymore. So I think the Patriots could give him a nice size contract and he'd take it. And they could really use running backs since they lost White. And if it's not going to be them, I think it's the Steelers. Because the Steelers literally only had him. And then their only other one was some tight end that got converted to running back. And he didn't do well either.
You know what? I agree with you. I'm going with the Steelers. Because I thought he was still there, honestly. I didn't think he was a free agent. So I thought he was still there.
Yeah, I don't know who they have at their running backs, but I think they like their young guys. My friends, I should have asked them. But I forget who they have as their running back. But we'll see what happens. If he's cheap enough, I'm sure a lot of teams will be coming.
Oh yeah, he's got some decent talent if they can get him cheap.
Okay. So you got the next one?
Yep. I got. Oh, what is that? Okay, that's weird. But I think it just reloaded itself. So next on the list, Geno Atkins.
Let me look him up.
Lyman Geno Atkins.
Let me look him up again.
Let me switch it because I know Richard Sherman is a free agent. Where do y'all think he'll go? And this has to be my last one because I do actually have to go. But who do you guys think Richard Sherman would end up? Where do you think he'll go?
I don't want to say Cardinals, but I say the Cardinals or the Bills. One of those two.
You really like the Bills, huh?
Yeah, you want the Bills to be stacked up.
I just want them to beat Belichick. Like, I want someone to beat Belichick again. There's no better feeling for me.
Him and I believe it's Tre'Davious White. That would be a really mean combo on the
Clowney.
But for me, I think a team that would really benefit from his services is going to be the Browns. Because their defense is already really, really good. And you add him to corner, while he may not be the fastest guy, he is still an elite cover. He's still elite in coverage, and I think he could be slow. I think he can still do some damage for him.
Yeah, I would like to see him go to the Steelers. I know that's probably not going to happen, but if he's down to take a cheap contract, they just lost Steven Nelson. Wouldn't mind seeing him go there. I think that would be cool to watch. I don't think they play they don't play zone coverage. So I want to see him go somewhere that they don't play that zone coverage that you love so much. That's what this is probably your last contract. Make it last. Make it count. You know what I'm saying? Like, go play a little bit of man and end out your career proving that you can do that. I would love to see that as a football fan. I don't really care about Richard Sherman's career or legacy, but as a football fan, I would love to see him, face that that stereotype that he's had his whole career, that he can only play zone coverage. So that's what I would want him to do. I would want to see him go there.
Okay. All right. And real quick before you head out, I just want to say thank you for coming on again. Really appreciate it. And actually, Tyler and I are planning on doing a first round mock draft the weekend before the draft. So if you're down for that, we'd love to have
hit me up.
I got you, man.
I appreciate you guys having me on, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. We'll do this again sometime. Maybe we'll get you guys on the channel sometime. We'll do a live as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love to be there.
Yeah, man.
I'm a holla at you. I do got to run, but like I said, I appreciate y'all letting me on, man. You guys have a good night, all right?
Yeah, you too.
All right, man. God bless.
All right. Great guy. I love his content. Hilarious. Guys, I just want to say thank you. And real quick, I'm sure we're not done. We're not going to end it off here, right?
Yeah, I mean, we still, even if we were done with all of our stuff here, we still have our guest questions to do.
Okay. So right before we do that, Tyler, wait, are you working on draft night?
I don't know yet.
Okay, but
even then, I'll be off before then.
Yeah. So for the NFL draft, I should have told him this, but I can shoot him a DM anytime. But we're going to do a live reaction to the NFL draft, the first round. The first round, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. And then I'm going to make fun of Tyler the whole time. So. Yo, you want to play Rogue after this? You can play for a little
bit. Maybe.
Cool. All right. So this question right here. Dan Quinn, do you think he'll go back to the Cowboys?
No, do you think Dan Quinn I think he's talking about when we were talking about Richard Sherman. You think Dan Quinn?
Whoops.
I'm gonna assume that's what he asked. That. So, do we think Dan Quinn will be able to bring Richard Sherman to the Cowboys? What is the connection between him and Dan Quinn?
I have no clue.
I'm trying to think of when Dan Quinn would have. Oh wait, was he defensive coordinator of the Seahawks?
There you go.
He might have been. Let me double check that real quick.
Philly 52, welcome here. I've seen you a couple of Phillies streams. Yeah. Seahawks?
Yep, he was the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. So, I mean, it's a strong possibility that he could try and get him to come in here. I don't know what the relationship is like since the two have parted ways in Seattle. The real question, though, is what would Cowboys be able to offer him? So it's one of those things where will they be able to give him a contract to entice him enough? And will there be a bigger, better offer for him? And honestly, thinking on it now, I think it's a strong possibility. Thinking all about this. Because Dan Quinn knows how Richard Sherman works. He knows what he's best at, and he knows how to properly use him.
It's common sense, I think, now.
Legion of Boom. Like, there's a reason they almost won that Super Bowl until 1 yard line.
I don't want to hear that. Stop.
But honestly, if there was any place, like, if there's no one that's offering the amount of money that he's looking for, and the Cowboys send him an offer, I think he takes it. I really do. Unless there's like a big offer from one of the other teams.
Okay. All right. I agree. It's common sense. But what else is there like to say? I'm
And
basically
there is also Tampa Bay.
huh?
There is also Tampa Bay.
No, I know that, but I'm like, what's next to talk about in football? I think we covered everything.
Think so. That's why we're just going for the questions.
Yo, Philly 52, make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell, because I'm trying to do 2 videos tomorrow. I have a friend coming over like in the afternoon. Yeah. Sixers kids only. Okay. I like that. And I know I have a basketball background behind me. I got lazy.
All right.
All right, Philly. See
Yeah,
you.
that was the only question.
All right. So, yeah, we did a good job answering the questions. I think I want to talk about NBA for a little bit. Tyler?
Sure. If it was the NBA trade deadline, might as well. We should talk about
You know
it.
who was signed by Brooklyn Nets today?
I did see that. When I was
Lamar.
about to get into the shower, I saw that trending. I saw that. I'm like, the Nets just want or just playing my team at this point.
There you go. You're finally using 2K logic.
They're just seeing these players. They like, ooh, yeah, sure. How many coins does he want? 250,000? Yeah, I'll give him 250,000 coins for that. I just gotta snipe off the marketplace. Yee-haw! Like,
Yo, Drummond's going to go to the Lakers.
is that confirmed or is that rumored?
Woj pretty much confirmed it. I'm looking it up right now. But
That's a good signing for the Lakers. I like Drummond a lot.
they don't need, dude.
It's not so much they need him, but it's just he's a good player. God forbid the Nets get Drummond too. Would you rather see Drummond go to the Lakers or the Nets?
Honestly, I'm gonna hate saying this. Celtics. They need a big man. They got nobody.
An option Mitchell.
No, I'm just saying Celtics are a better option for him than
Be that as it may, it could be the Celtics just weren't interested in trying to offer him the contract that the Lakers were, and God knows if the Nets wanted him. I think if the Nets got Drummond too, I think everybody would just be going bonkers right now with the team they put together, because they're literally just throwing money at every single name.
Ryan, what up, dude? We just talked about some Eagles with my guy, Philly the podcast. Great guy. What's good, Tyler?
No.
Okay. So, we were just talking about Drummond going to the Lakers. We talked about Aldridge going to the Nets and how DeMarcus Cousins is still there.
And how about Lowry? Still stuck with the Raptors.
Yeah, everyone fell for the trade bait. Everyone did.
Because they wanted too much. It's like the thing I equate to that is the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know baseball, evil. I know, but
no, I'm just saying that's a weird comparison.
No, so for the past couple years, they had like very young stars, and they do incredibly well in a season. And so, obviously, since they don't do well, they never really had a great season. They're trying to trade them off, try to get either draft picks or good young players that they can develop in their farm system. But because they always ask for too much, so they always ask for a bunch of high draft picks and great young stars and all this other stuff, and then the trade falls through, and then something happens to said young star that takes his draft value from here, drops it all the way down to here, and then they get next to nothing for them.
Mm-hmm. Yo, guys, thank you for 10 likes on the stream. Really appreciate it here. We got, wow. I'm telling you, dude, this is actually one of the most fun podcasts we had. It goes, the one with Philly Take RB, Hunter, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Melly's up there because that was just insane. The debates we got into. This one, he's so funny, dude.
I do like him a lot.
I was looking at you. You were bright red for like majority of this.
The reason for that is because at work I was working in the sun all day, and bright old me didn't pack any sunscreen.
Well, that's your fault.
That is my fault. So now I'm going to have to deal with sunburn on my only day off.
You're off tomorrow?
I am off tomorrow.
Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind. But
help! He's going to come to my house and beat me. Please,
why would I go to South Carolina? That's 8 hours.
So, are you saying about worth an 8-hour trip, Mitchell?
Am I worth the 8-hour trip?
No, because it's longer going up than it is going down.
No. Exactly my point.
Exactly. So it's easier for you to go down is for me to go up. Mitchell.
Okay, we're not doing this. We're stopping here. Let's stop. But dude, I don't know what else to say. Like NBA wise, Sixers, like they're good.
I mean, they did best they could after the Lowry thing fell through. Like they got some decent. They got.
Oh my God. Don't get me.
Right.
You got me started.
Oh no! All right, I'm sorry. I'm logging off here because he's about to rant for the next half hour. Bye.
All right. George Hill, he's injured.
Mm-hmm.
He's injured. He's fine. He's one of the guys I made videos back like a month ago or something. I like George Hill. Good trade. Why would they give up Tony Bradley instead of Mike Scott?
Because they did want Mike Scott.
So Daryl Morey is the best basketball operator, whatever his freaking title is, in the NBA. Go for it.
I said just call him the GM. It's easier.
But he's not. Owen Brandon's the GM.
Yes, but you can still call him the GM just so this way you don't have to keep trying to think of basketball operations and blah, 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 blah.
Dude, I don't know if you saw that video. I went off. I watched it again, and I was just like, damn, I was pissed. But, dude, our bench sucks now. It sucks right now. Like, I can't wait for George Hill to come in. We got George Hill, Sigmund off the bench. Beautiful. Love it. Korkmaz. Huh?
How many games are they up on the Nets?
They're tied or up 1.
Okay, and how far out is Hill from coming back from injury?
George Hill, probably 2 weeks.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. But people are mad that we didn't get Lowry, but I feel like George.
I think Lowry would have been a great trade, and he would have been a great member of the team. But you also have to keep in mind what they wanted, and what they wanted was way too much, because you would basically be giving up your multiple firsts. You're giving up a star player you have in your farm system, and another incredibly good young talent in Tobias. And all of that for Lowry?
No, they weren't going to give up Tobias.
I could have sworn I saw Tobias was supposed to be part of that trade.
No, it was going to be 2 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, Thybulle. That's what it was. Okay. But even then, Thybulle's still a great young talent on the team.
Yeah.
Like,
George Hill's a cheaper option.
Yeah. Like 2 first rounds, that's fine up to that point. You want our rookie of the year player from our farm system.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit overvalued, but that's a still makeable trade. But then you add on Thybulle. No, because you're asking for too much. Not for, especially when you're only getting Lowry. You're not getting any picks back on top of that.
Right. So, you know what? I feel like, is there anything? Wait. We should have gone after Kyle Lowry and possibly Norton Powell. Yeah, he went to Trailblazers for Tyrese Maxey, Thibault, and 2 first-round picks. So if they included Powell, I'm all in. If they included Powell, I'm all in.
I don't think they would.
They
Because you
wouldn't.
got to think about this, but the asking price for just Lowry was that much. If you include Powell in that trade, it would have been even more.
Right.
You probably would have asked for at least 3 first rounders, if not maybe even 4.
No, they
And
would have.
who knows what other
No,
plays
it would have been 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
Yeah, so like 2 firsts and 2 seconds, like essentially taking us out, essentially hurting our draft stock immensely. And then they definitely would have probably wanted another star player on top of that. Hell, they probably would have said, well, I guess we won't take Thibault, but we're gonna want Ben Simmons or Embiid or one of your other like great players for Lowry. And then I can't disagree with him deciding not to go through with the trade. If the team wants to,
No, I agree with you.
If they're gonna try and force your hand when you have all the leverage, then you call their bluff. You say, "Fine, bye." And now Lowry's going to be miserable, and he's not going to stick around after the season's over. He's getting out. He's putting in a trade request as soon as that's done, and then guess who's going to come a knocking? Oh, hi, it's just the Sixers, and this time we're only going to give you 2 seconds.
Yeah. They didn't want for the Lakers. I forget who they wanted. I think it was Taylor Horn Tucker was one of them.
Yeah,
KCP.
it's one of those things where you're trying to where you're overvaluing your players. And when you do that, people are not going to trade with you, and now you're forced to have this player who is now going to be incredibly unhappy because he's in a situation he doesn't want to be in. 2, because of his unhappiness, it might start to perform lesser, which is going to tank his trade value. And 3 is going to try and get out as soon as the trade window opens again, which will be after the season. So now, any leverage you had before to try and get some picks or maybe a decent young player or 2 becomes non-existent because you have no negotiation power when your player obviously wants out and will do anything to get out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And dude, I gotta use the bathroom. I've been holding it for 2 hours. I'll be right back.
Before you go. All right, then I shall continue to entertain the crowd by myself. For you see, I can be entertaining man. I can't be entertaining man.
Yo. But yeah, I got you. Yeah, hang up.
Can't open chat and then I hit leave.
That's your fault.
I don't listen here, you.
What?
You know what you did.
I went to the bathroom.
How dare you go to the bathroom and force me to entertain chat by myself, you monster. Why are you so quiet though? Is that
I'm
me
quiet?
or is that you? Yeah.
I'm good.
Hmm.
Am I good?
I don't know. It might just be me.
Yeah, it probably is.
I'm trying to think of what's causing it though, because everything else I have is closed.
Oh, I wanted to ask you this. Since we're right here, I'll ask you right now.
All right.
Next weekend's Easter. Do you still want to do a podcast or do you want to skip?
We might have to skip. I'll get back to you when I have more info though.
We can just skip and go back next week.
That's fine.
Yeah, let's just do that. Okay.
Easter is
Sunday.
Easter.
It's that Sunday. It's the next Sunday.
Yeah,
So-
because I might be going up to visit my grandfather for that weekend. But if I'm
In
not, then
Jersey?
we can totally do the show. It's just
No, okay. It's up to you. But
I just have to figure out if I'm going to be able to go or not. It's going to depend on work.
yeah. So I think we should close it off here after all that.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. I appreciate all of you for coming. We had 10 likes. I'm gonna look at the stream when I'm done. I mean, I think I can see it now. How many total views? Oh, I gotta try.
That's bad luck, Mitchell.
You're right. It is. You're right. It is. So, yo, fun podcast. Shout out to Philly the podcast. Thank you so much. I love you. Great guy. Now, Philly. I mean, bleh. The Nets out west. Philly Foothills canceled last second. It's kind of funny. We canceled him last week. He canceled on us this week. But I want him on in like 2 weeks. I'm gonna talk to him. I want him on.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, don't worry. I got it. Don't worry. But yeah, favorite part of the podcast. Go.
What, is this Dora the Explorer now?
Fine, we'll talk about that later.
You nerd.
All right, guys. Catch you on the next one.
Peace.
All right. I'm K out. See you guys.